Good afternoon, I'm teacher Alejandra Reynaga and I'm proud to present my second semester B1.2 English group from the morning. We want to participate in the Viralicemos la Lectura project because we know that it's important to read in English to increase vocabulary and improve spelling and grammar. We're reading the book called Dear Mr. Henshaw by the author Beverly Cleary. She's one of America's most beloved children's book authors. This book is written in the form of letters from a boy named Lee Butts to his favorite writer. We hope you enjoy. May 12. Dear Mr. Henshaw, my teacher read your book about the dog to our class. It was funny. We liked it. Your friend, Lee Butts. Boy.
November 13. Dear Mr. Henshaw, I am in the 4th grade now. I made a diorama of ways to amuse a dog. The book I wrote to you about 2 times before. Now our teacher is making us write to others for book week. I got your answer to my letter last year, but it was only printed. Please, would you write to me in your own handwriting? I'm a great enjoyer of your books. My favorite character in the book was just that, because he didn't get mad when you amused his dog by playing a tape of a lady singing. And his dog sat and howled like he was singing too. Bandit does the same thing when he hears singing. Your best reader, Late Butts.
December 2nd. Dear Mr. Henshaw, I got to thinking about ways to amuse a dog. When Joe took his dog to a park and taught him to slide down the slide, wouldn't some grown-up come along and say he couldn't let his dog use the slide? Around here, grown-ups, who are mostly real old with cats, get mad if dogs aren't on leashes every minute. I hate living in a mobile home park. I saw your picture on the back of the book. When I grow up, I want to be a famous book writer with a bear like you. I'm sending you my picture. It is last year's picture. My hair is longer now. With all the millions of kids in the US, how would you know who I am if I don't send you my picture? Your favorite reader, Leg Butts. Enclosure picture of me. We are studying business letters.
October 2nd. Dear Mr. Henshaw, I am the 5th grade now. You may like to know that I give a book report on ways to amuse a dog. The class liked it. I got, and the minus was because the teacher said I didn't stand both feet. Sincerely, Leg Butts.
November 7th. Dear Mr. Henshaw, I got your letter and did what you said. I read a different book by you. I read Muse on Toast. I liked it as much as Ways to Amuse a Dog. It was really funny the way the boy's mother tried to think of ways to cook the Muse meat they had in their freezer. 1,000 pounds is a lot of Muse. Muse burgers, Muse stew, and Muse meatloaf don't sound too bad. Maybe Muse Nine's meat pie would be okay because with all the raisins and junk you wouldn't know you were eating Muse. Cream cheese Muse on toast, yuck. I don't think the boy's father should have shot the Muse, but I guess there are plenty of Muse up there in Alaska, and maybe they needed it for food. If my dad shot a Muse, I would feed the thought parts to my dog, Bandit. Your number 1 fan, Lake Butts.
September 20. Dear Mr. Henshaw, this year I'm in the 6th grade in a new school in a different town. Our teacher is making us to do auto reports so we can improve our grammar skills, so of course I thought of you. Please answer the following questions. Number 1. How many books have you written? Number 2. Is Boyd Henshaw your real name or is it fake? Number 3. Why do you grade books for children? Number 4. Where do you get your ideas? Number 5. Do you have any kids? Number 7. What's your favorite book that you wrote? Number 8. What's the title of your next book? Number 9. What's your favorite animal? Number 10. Please give me some tips on how to write a book. This is important to me. I really want to know so I can get to be a famous author and write books exactly like yours. Please send me a list of your books that you wrote and an autograph picture and a bookmark. I need your answer by next Friday. This is urgent. Sincerely, Lee Butts. Deliver the letter. The sooner, the better. The later, the letter, the mother, I get her.
November 15th. Dear Mr. Henshaw, at first I was pretty upset when I didn't get an answer to my letter in time for my report, but I worked it out okay. I read what it said about you on the back of Ways to Amuse a Dog and wrote real big on every other line, so I filled up the paper. On the book it said you lived in Seattle, so I didn't know you had moved to Alaska, although I should have guessed from Moose on Toast. When your letter finally came, I didn't want to read it to the class because I didn't think Miss Martinez would like silly answers, like your real name is messing around, and you don't have kids because you don't raise goats. She said I had to read it. The class laughed and Miss Martinez smiled, but she didn't smile when I came to the part about your favorite animal was a purple monster who ate children, who sent authors long list of questions for reports instead of learning to use a library. Your writing tips were okay. I could tell you meant what you said. Don't worry, when I write something, I won't send it to you. I understand how busy you are with your own books. I hit the second page of your letter from Miss Martinez. The list of questions you said for me to answer really made me mad. Nobody else's author put in a list of questions to be answered, and I don't think it's fair to make me do more work when I already wrote a report.
Anyway, thank you for answering my questions. Some kids didn't get any answer at all, which made them mad, and one girl almost cried. She was so afraid she would get a bad grade. One boy got a letter from an author who sounded really excited about getting a letter and wrote such a long answer the boy had to write a long report. He guessed nobody ever wrote to the author before, and he sure wouldn't again. About 10 kids wrote to the same author who wrote one answer to all of them. There was a big argument about who got to keep it until Ms. Martinez took the letter to the office and duplicated it. About those questions you sent me. I'm not going to answer them, and you can't make me. You're not my teacher. Yours truly, Leigh Botts. P.S. When I asked you what the title of your next book was going to be, you said, who knows? Did you mean that was a title? Or you don't know what the title would be? And do you really write books because you have read every book in the library and because writing beats mowing the lawn or shoveling snow?
November 16th. Dear Mr. Henshaw, Mom found your letter and your list of questions, which I was dumb enough to leave lying around. We had a big argument. She says I have to answer your questions because authors are working people like anyone else. And if you took time to answer my questions, I should answer yours. She says I can go through life expecting everyone to do everything for me. She used to say the same thing to Dad when he left his socks on the floor. Well, I got to go now. It's bedtime. Maybe I'll get around to answering your 10 questions, and maybe I won't. There isn't any law that says I have to. Maybe I won't even read any more of your books. Disgusted reader, Leigh Botts. Postscript. If my dad was here, he would tell you to go climb a tree.